All right, Coach. 8-4 win. What did you see from them, especially Caedmon on the mob today?
Yeah, nos vamos cornudas muy bien. Trabajo aquí today, or todo día.
Yeah.
Todo día, muy bien. There you go. That's my Spanish for the day.
Did you take lessons for that before?
No, I played enough baseball to. But no, Pichando Caedmon Parker was really good. You know, he was. Him and I had a good conversation in between last week's start and this week's start, just in terms of like what he needed to do to go deeper into games, and it was just being better in the strike zone. And I thought his curveball was great today. I thought his fastball, especially into a couple hitters, was really good. But he was pitching ahead for the most part. I think he was out of the 22 batters he faced. He was 15 out of 21 in terms of being ahead in the count. Two of the first three pitches. So 1-2 or 0-2 to 15 of 21 hitters. So that's the recipe for success. When we didn't have success today was when we fell behind. I think we only threw in that stretch, one first pitch strike. They did a good job actually against Braden in terms of laying off some pitches. But usually what happens is, you give up a couple walks and then all of a sudden one hit gets you, and that's kind of what happened to Braden. But thought Louis came in and settled things down and did a really good job to finish it off.
Strauss Snyder had another multi-hit day, 4 on the day. Just talk about his performance.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird, right? It's like they come in bunches, and found a couple, base hits into the 4-hole, which was nice, and got the double or the triple, I think it was actually, or maybe it was only double, but him going good. And then I thought the big thing that maybe goes unnoticed a little bit, obviously Noah's ball off the top of the fence to push it to 7-1, but for Anthony Silva to get the double in the 8th inning to get us back to a 4-run lead. You always want to, enter the 9th inning, hopefully with a 4-run lead, because then, you know that it takes a grand slam to tie you. So.
Braden Sloan kind of struggled again a little bit today. What have you been seeing from him on the mound?
Just not pitching ahead. So when he's not pitching ahead, some of the pitches that he relies on for guys to swing out of the zone, they don't. So he has to get back into pitching ahead.
Louis out there, 1.1 innings. He did close out the game today.
Yeah.
We haven't seen as much of him lately. Just trying to get him back in the groove of things today.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of relied a lot on, Brassfield and Sloan, and so with Louis, just he kind of can come in a lot of different varieties. So nothing major, just picking the right spots for him and the other guys. I mean, that's the thing. It's when you go 8 2/3 from your starter and then you go 6, it's a good problem to have, to not have to stress your bullpen out. It hasn't always been like that. I think this is the first time that we've probably had a 2 quality starts in a row. It might be the first time this year, to be honest with you. So that was really nice to set us up for a lot of guys ready to go for tomorrow.
Now with Baumler on the mound tomorrow, what are you kind of hoping to see from him?
Probably just the aggressive mentality. When he's aggressive and fills the strike zone up aggressively, he's really good. We've seen it against DBU. We've seen it a couple other flashes, and just excited for him to get a start on a weekend again, which it's been quite a bit. And he doesn't have to go out and win a game. He just has to go out and be the aggressive. I almost called him Carter because that's his brother who was committed to us that signed. But Trev will just be aggressive and attack the zone.
Tomorrow, win, sweeps, and it ties the all-time series between the two teams. What does that just kind of mean for the history between the two programs?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably not much. I don't think anybody, or we don't get caught up too much in the back and forth. They've been playing for a really, really long time. All the way back to Slim Kinsey and Al Pascal, and a lot of guys have played in this series with them being down the road. So been a lot of history in it and a lot of great baseball in it, and we're just going to try and come out and play good and win a ball game.
Last one, crowd today, really big crowd out there. What's kind of you feeding off that you've been talking about?
Sure.
The weeks?
Well, it's nice when you have a beautiful spring day and the sun's out, and it's probably 4,500, 5,000, right around 5,000 fans. So it's always nice to play in front of a lot of people, and as the weather warms up and we're playing at home, come on out. A lot of fun. And tomorrow it's Kids Run the Bases Day, so come on out.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet.
Hey, Jack. Big one today. You had the home run there. What was kind of going through your mind whenever you hit that?
That's just pure excitement. That's what we work for in moments like that. We strive in those, and we want to make big plays, and that's where our work comes from. We really just trust our work and everything we do before the games. Prior to the games during the week. Yeah, we really just lean on that.
Throughout the season, you kind of be coming into the clutch moments. This weekend, you're getting the starts back-to-back games. What does that kind of say about Coach's confidence in you?
I always believe. Coach Miller has confidence in me. I appreciate it, and just going back to our work. It really just you got to stay ready, and you got to put in the work.
The two freshmen on this team, Franco and Strauss-Snyder, went 7 for 10 today. What did you kind of see from them, and have you given them any tips at all?
Those guys they're freaks. They're not your normal freshmen, so I think the biggest thing with them is if there's going to be failure in baseball, and they might not be used to that right now because they're so good, and I think if you just gotta pat them on the butt and tell them let's go if they're not having the game they want, because we all know they're really good.
You guys scored bunches there in the middle of the game, 3 runs in both the 5th and 6th inning. How dangerous is this lineup when you guys are firing on all cylinders?
It's really good. Whenever we get runners on, it's a different ball game, and that's our goal. Is we want to drive in runners, and we want to score as many runs as we can, and be a relentless offense. So yeah, it's really fun.
Last question: the uniforms. Where would you rank them now with all the ones that you guys have?
I don't know. I'll compare it to the ones last year. I think the ones last year were a little bit better, but I'll put these in the top 5 of all of our uniforms for sure, just because we don't wear them a lot. We wear them one time, so it's kind of a cool thing to do.
Thanks, Jack.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Give me your thoughts on your performance on the mound.
Yeah, I think that one thing that me and Saarloos have talked about is when I'm pitching ahead, I get a little bit better success rates. So I think today was just a relentless effort of trying to fill the zone and get ahead of guys early, and for the most part, they were able to get themselves out. And a lot of times, I'm too much of a perfectionist, and I kind of make it hard on myself when I don't need to. So luckily today, I was just able to fill it up and get some good results.
It's the first time you've gone 6 innings pitched since the second weekend of the series. What does it mean for you to be able to give your team that much distance out of the start?
Yeah, I think that this year I've kind of learned a lot about myself, kind of more of a starter role. It's kind of the first year I've done it here. So I want to just give it, I don't want to come out of games and think that I have more in the tank. In my head, if I'm a starter, I want to give everything I have and go out and win a ball game to give our team a chance to win. So being able to go 6 is phenomenal. I think that got to be better about pitch count and being ahead of hitters. But overall, I was happy to go as far as I did.
Coach commented on the off-speed stuff today working for you. How much confidence do you have in both that slider and that changeup of yours?
Yeah, I think that I have kind of equal confidence in all of my pitches. It's one of those things that there's not a day where I'm going to be scared to throw a certain one. I'm cool with throwing all of them in any count and just having a boatload of confidence up there and just trying to fill the zone.
How nice is it to pitch when your offense is scoring 8 runs, getting 15 hits for you today? We'll just talk about their performance on the field.
Yeah, we know it. Our offense is one of the best in the country, and when we have a day where I get to have a good first inning, go back out in the second with a 2, 3, 4 run lead, it takes a massive load off my shoulders, knowing that I can just fill it up, and if they run into a baseball, it's not that big of a deal because I don't have to be so fine with a 0-0 ball game. So playing with our offense is a lot of fun.
All the talk this season's kind of been about the freshmen and the underclassmen, but today the pitching staff, it was all veterans, you, Louie, and Braden. What's kind of been y'all's message, as the older guys in the clubhouse?
Yeah, our freshmen are really talented. They're really talented. They learned quick and they're performing well. But I think that the message has just been, don't make it too hard on yourself. Fill up the strike zone and get ahead. One of the things we talked about is 2 out of 3. So the first 2 pitches of the at-bat being strikes out of the first 3, you usually have better results. So just trying to tell the freshmen to fill it up and trying to do that so that they don't think we're hypocrites.
Last season you guys swept Baylor twice, and then now you're on the verge of sweeping them again this season. What does it is there anything about them that just kind of clicks for you guys when y'all play them?
There's always a little bit of extra fire behind it playing Baylor, but I think we just happen to be playing some really good baseball when we play them, and just taking it, the Friday game by itself and then just the Saturday game. And so now it's obviously the only thing that matters is the Sunday game and trying to go out for a sweep. So.
And then last question, the uniforms you guys wore today, how would you compare them to last year's that you guys wore, and where would you rank them?
I love them. You know, I think honestly, I prefer the purple or the white over kind of like the tannish cream, in my opinion. So I rank them really high. My favorite are by far the white pinstripes. I mean, they look so good, but I like these a lot. I'd love to continue wearing them, but sadly, it's just a one-time thing.
Thanks, kid.